What's up, card fighters, and welcome back to the Prime Vanguard channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing an episode 4 reaction of the Cardfight Vanguard Divinez DELUXE series, and I'm super excited to see this one. Now, I will admit that I am late on posting this, so I have seen a little bit of spoilers for this episode. You know, apparently this is one of the most, biggest things that's happened in the entirety of the series. We're not going to talk about that towards the end of the video, but I do want to apologize for being late on it. Unfortunately, my personal work schedule as well as my YouTube schedule and the time of the episode did not align properly, so that's why I'm 2 days late on getting this video out. I do apologize for that. I'll do my best to continue to be on top of it as fast as I can, but when duty calls, I have to do what I have to do. Now, I don't want to take up any more of your time on this topic, but if you guys enjoy seeing content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys are always up to date with my newest videos coming out. What a lovely home. You know, I was thinking about this the other day because she brought up her family reputation. I'm curious. So, I'm going to assume that being a Vanguard player in their universe is treated the same way as being a professional, athlete or something. Because, although it's never brought up, financially speaking, or anything of that nature, I'm going to assume they continue to live your lifestyle like this and have things of these natures, these teams, these groups, these supports, like they did in every single series of Vanguard. Because every single series of Vanguard, there's always a character like this. That it has to be treated like a professional sport, you know? The finances, the reputation, things of that nature. And then, you know, especially being a generational thing like with her, naturally it has to be something, they have to be getting paid a lot to do this. Oh my goodness. Top Vanguard players are wishing they could do that. Alright, Suzanne versus Senka. Oh, there's Megumi. Oh, they're caramels. Okay. I think I said when I first saw her if she was carrying an urn. I assumed immediately, I didn't say bring it up this time, but I'm glad it's not. I assumed it wasn't because she's eating out of it, and then I don't think the producers of Cardfight Vanguard would allow that. Oh, that's right. She went pro and she was undecided what she was going to do while in or after university. There she goes. You know, I am curious about what sort of Impolito support we're going to see in this episode. I mean, the deck itself is locked into 3 attacks. You know, you have the X code Exceed to get more power and things of that nature. But I'm very curious if we're going to finally get a 4th attack in this deck. I mean, it's one of the things that was missing, but I can see it being like, if you have 4 or 5 auto mod gauges, restand this unit or something of that nature. Or hell, even be something like an Oswald support that Eugene has where it's restand your Vanguard if you have like X amount of automod gauges, because that is one of the things the deck has been missing. You know, you've got rear guard, drive check, you've got extra shield, extra power, your Vanguard's divine skill is already really good, but I just, you know, curious to see what support that is. The family that never changes. There goes Suo.
トイレを探しに来たのに、なんで外にいるんだよ。中にトイレがなかった。そんなわけないだろ。デラックスでの優勝は通過点に過ぎます。スズメ、お前の際は六王院の歴史の中でも群を抜いています。ですが、それは先達の積み重ねがあってこそ。故にその際はお前のものではなく六王院のもの。わかりますね。はい、お母様。勝って当然。苦戦など論外。圧勝しなさい。上昇こそが六王院の誉れ。その通り、話は以上です。大丈夫ですか？え？そのなんというか辛そうだったから。辛い？私が？うん。ありえません。ヴァンガードは勝負の世界。強さ以外は全て不純物。喜びも悲しみ。
Oh, he sees right through it because he used to be like that.
失礼します。同時期に頭角を現した期待の星だから三神星。正直そんな肩書きに興味はなかったんだが、お前らぶっ倒して俺が一等星だと証明するのは悪くねえ。それは
I love her confidence.
私の方が強いですから。上等。勝手なことを。僕の方が強い。
Not Ranka too. There goes Exceedance. Alright, what do you do?
ダイナミックエキサイターエスティラにライド。エスティラのスキル発動。山札から学装カードメガロマニアを手札に加える。ユイカとアウラをコール。ユイカでアタック。
Okay, calling the booster behind the Vanguard to prepare for the Exceed bonus. And it's Aura too, which means that we're going to be searching our deck for orders. And the Vanguard searching order too. Okay. Then blocks it. Not bad. Some rear guards. That's big. The heal trigger coming through. Not a reaction. So there's two separate orders for this deck, Megalomania and Shout and Shadow. Got Impolito in there. That's going to be big because of the grade 2's next turn, so she can either get a defensive card or she can get a Persona to her hand. There he goes. Impolito. Shielder. Okay, so she chose Persona. Okay, new card. It's a grade 2. Keeping her attack formation light. But she doesn't need the booster because of the Vanguard's ability. What does this do? Oh, a dual retire. Oh, that's lame. A dual retire is lame. I guess in the sense of this, it's not terrible in this deck because she'll have something in her drop zone to target for the auto mod, but I don't know. And there it is. What? Polyphonic Overdrive. Artisaria.
Cardfight Vanguard! New and powerful cards for us! Let's finish this, Sybil!
I set the sound system currently running from drops and moves on. And what happens next? Oh, so that's what everyone's talking about. I finally get it now. Locking a rear guard is huge, especially against Impolito. But lock in general is huge. We'll discuss it later, but this is... I finally understand what everyone's freaking out about now. It does. So she's gonna have to drop that multi-attack card that I was theorizing earlier. Otherwise, this is really bad for her and great for the opponent, because it only has to deal with 2 attacks a turn. And as long as she can PG against Impolito, she doesn't have to worry about that, and her damage is so low early because she guarded early. And she gets a Shadow Army token off of this? Okay. That's not good. At least Senka's playing smart at keeping her damage low, or at least taking the amount of damage she needs to get the gauges she needs. A back-to-hand and draw skill, that is huge. Possessive woman. All this confidence, but can we outdo this? Okay. Vince Star Arnhem. Damn, okay, so it has a boost effect on top of it. So there's no restander, and that's what she kind of needed right now to get her 3 attacks. Alright, Divine Skills up now. Quadruple Drive. Okay. Be another one. And there it is. And Vinchstar, I think, should be able to do a drive check. Because she should have at least more than 4 by now. So, do you have the PG or do you have to drop your whole hand to block this? Because you draw those cards. And you have another PG. Okay, well. At least she forced out dual perfect guards. You know, that would be huge for her defense. And Senka should recognize at least one of the cards in her hand. Got Nebula back. So I wonder if we're going to see the other order now from Artesia when she rides up again. Because we've already seen what Mega Romania does. And is she going to continue to use Mega Romania to prevent the Nebula Invoke from giving her the extra shield? Or is she going to use that other set order and maybe it gives her an extra buff because she doesn't care about the shield from that card? But Senka did just add 5 cards to her hand if I'm correct. And she's only got, I think, 3 damage? So which one is she going to do? So here comes Artesari again. It's going to be Mega Romania, so she's going to continue to lock that Nebula Invoke. Yeah, that's tough, and she didn't get a restander, or at least she doesn't have access to one yet. And that Lufer card, I don't know what the conditions are for it to draw, but if she can do Yuika and Lufer and draw a card, that's at least 2 cards to your hand every single turn. Take a damage, so Impaulito should be at 18k now. Hopefully we can block earlier. Took another damage. Oh, that's concerning. Because she still got 2 more attacks. If you guys paid attention earlier, she didn't use that Butterfly Shadow Army card to boost. So that tells me she's got 1 more attack coming. Critical. Oh, and then she's got critical on that too. What the heck? So they gave this card everything. And the grade 3 has 5k bonus. Oh my goodness, this is disgusting. Lock, critical, front row power, double Shadow Army call, 5 attack deck. Interesting. Oh my god, that's annoying. How would you pay attention to the music? I'm loving this background music. It's so like techno and it's just fitting for the aesthetic of the character. And that voice, beautiful. So I'm curious, I wonder if she didn't have the cards to block the first 2 attacks, or she just chose not to. Because if she knew Artesaria had a critical coming her way, then why would she put herself in that position? Because if she stayed at 4, she could have at least healed out. Well, she's happy about it. And that's still the pondering question for Akina. Why do you play this game? Oh my goodness, we'll see.
ヴァンガードは勝負の世界。 強さ以外は全て不純物。喜びも悲しみも私には必要ないものです。
空っぽなのか、あいつも。お疲れ様でした。
お、相川君。
There's
こんな
a
ところ
cool
で
one.
何やってんだよ。
大健闘した千華さんをねぎらいに来ました。
よく言うぜ。それだけじゃねえだろ。
じっとしていられなくて。
はあ、大舞台で緊張してんのか。
まさか。人前に出るのは慣れてますよ。
可愛くねえな。
でも気持ちが高ぶってるみたいです。どうしても本気で戦いたかった相手と戦えるんですから。
お前もそういう顔するんだな。
だってそうでしょ。
Rezael versus Levi Dress, the real life meta face to face. I'm actually excited for this. Alright, you guys, so that concludes the entirety of the episode. Now, before we discuss today's featured card, I do want to give my quick thoughts about everything that I've seen. So, before we see what Artesia does, in terms of the episode, I actually really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed that we are getting more characterization from Rokcoin, and we're getting to understand her better and who she is, her ideals, her motivations. I will say this. I will say every trading card anime always has a character like this. There's always somebody whose family legacy is tied to the game and it's about their reputation. Then they lose against the main character. Then they have to rechange their values when it comes to how they approach the game and how they want to get better. There's always that. I will say that. With her, we're getting this arc with this character. I think it's going to be very interesting. I will say that in terms of future matchups, I'm not entirely sure. I feel like based off everything I'm seeing, Suzanne, that's her name, I'm sorry. Suzanne is going to have to face either Suo or she's going to have to face either Megumi because of how the blocks are set up for those two to face each other. Megumi can give her a different set on values when it comes to losing and being a older Vanguard player because of the big sister energy that Megumi's giving and the more mature look that she has now. And then Suo being somebody who understands what it's like to feel empty, could be the person who opens her eyes to how being empty isn't good for you, and how to find purpose and things of that nature. I feel like that's what we're being foreshadowed to, because the interaction between Megumi and Suzanne wasn't really necessary, but it exists. And then Suo keeps looking at this girl and he sees right through her behavior and things of that nature. So I just feel like this is to keep in mind. Now, the card fight itself, I'm very disappointed that Impolito did not get a multi-attacker. I feel like it's a very strong deck right now. It's got built-in defense, great offense, and, she's playing the Blitz order package for Brantgate to get the additional defense bonus, and her cards already have good shield on top of that, which means that, realistically speaking, I just feel like to max the deck's offense, you should just get a multi-attacker, but unfortunately the deck didn't get that. Now, in terms of Artesaria, I won't give my thoughts about the deck or my opinions on it until after we see the card in today's featured card. My only concern is the fact that, can it do the lock more than once per turn? Because I think Messiah right now can lock 2 cards on your opponent's field. I think it can do that because of the new order. I haven't played against Messiah in a long time, but somebody up to date me on that. But if Artesaria can lock more than 2 times, still do 5 attacks, still gain all this power and the critical on it, it wouldn't be too far off from what Messiah does right now. It would just be a little bit faster because it's a grade 3. But again, I have to read the card first, and then I'll give my final thoughts on it. Today's featured card. Welcome to Cook a Million. Alright, Polyphonic Overdrive Artesaria. Set a sound system card from your hand or your drop zone to activate the card's skill. If you set Megalomania, you can lock an opponent's unit and prevent it from taking any action. So this didn't talk about the other one, which was Sound and Shadow. It was something Shadow. Oh, and then preview for the next episode. Akina's gonna win it. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there now. Back to the real thing we want to talk about, Artesaria. Now, it doesn't say anything about the grade 3 set order, not the Megalomania, the Sound and Shadow. We don't know what that does. That one has all of the more Shadow Army ones in there. So I'm gonna assume that's a set order that empowers the Shadow Army tokens, something like one of the Dark World cards do. in terms of that, that's my only fear with the deck. If the deck can do all of that, and this is one of those like snowman decks where, not snowman, but like you know, snowball decks where over time it gets more power, more power, more power, then yeah, it might be a little bit concerning. But I'm saying we have Messiah. Messiah does something like that. I just don't like the fact that Locke is now going to be in Lyrical, because Lyrical's generic support for the early game and resource management is already insanely good. So you're putting in a deck that doesn't have the, it doesn't have to wait like Messiah does right now to get access to all of those effects, get access to Locke, and be a nuisance against the opponent. Now, it is something that you can avoid, but keep in mind, we don't know the power of this deck or how it's going to work in the future or how it'll be implied in the real life meta until it actually comes out in English. But I am curious to hear your thoughts and feelings about this episode. How do you guys feel about Locke now being back in the card game and outside of the Messiah deck? And I'm curious to hear your guys' feelings on that. With that being said, stay tuned for next week's reaction to the next episode and who you think is going to win, Akina or Kuam. And I will catch you later, card fighters. Peace.